Hey, this is Christopher McClure from wholenessgeeks.com, and this is the fourth video in a series. These videos are about the meditations associated with the Enneagram type. So we're actually on Enneagram type 4 today, and the meditation associated with Enneagram type 4 is contouring, what I call contouring. Now, contouring is a what I would call a derivative of the Tibetan Eye Chart. And I'm going to share my screen and so you can see what the Tibetan Eye Chart looks like. So there's the eye chart. This is a chart that was developed by the Tibetan monks to exercise their vision. We think in the Western world, we think that the only thing that we have to exercise is our bodies. We forget things like our eyes or even our memories, but they're all things about our being, our system, that kind of, if you don't use it, you lose it kind of idea. And so anyway, they developed this eye chart. I've been doing this eye chart for I'd have to say for over 40 years. And what you do when you do this eye chart is and you can find this online, just Tibetan eye chart. You Google this and you can get this, you can get a chart like this and print it out. What you do is you put it up on a wall or a door at nose level, and you put your nose up into the center here, and you follow the contour of this graphic design. And as you're following this, you can do a number of different things. We've gone over pulse and respiration as cycles in the body, as meditation objects that occur naturally in the body. And so you can breathe with this. You can feel the pulse with this. You can do both at the same time. I think in the last video, we actually were doing that with the six-pointed star. You follow all the way around. When you get to these circles, you go around, and you can go around 3 times, but you go all the way around. And in the full exercise, what they suggest is when you get all the way to the point here, you turn around and you go back the other way. I usually just do it one direction, and I do this once every day. Now, what I realized as I was practicing this over the years was that, and I got this pretty soon after I started using it, was that you didn't need to actually put your nose up to this chart and follow this the shape of follow the shape of this design. You could actually do this with anything that you can see. You look at your so here I'm going to stop my share. You could actually look at yourself in the mirror, for instance, and follow the contour of your silhouette. You could focus on distant objects and follow the shape. You know, you could look like at a tree and you can follow, you know, the leaves and the, you could do that with clouds. You could do that with, you know, as you're walking and the sun is shining and you see your shadow on the ground, you can do that. You can do it with anything. But not only can you do that with exterior objects, but you can do it with internal objects. In other words, you close your eyes and what do you see? And you know, you kind of focus in. Might take you a little while to kind of like focus in, but you see a shape, and so you follow the edge of that shape. And so that's basically the practice of contouring, what I call contouring. And we're going to try that right now. And we'll start off, let's see here. I think we'll start off using pulse as the, it's sort of like the currency of the, it's the drive, the driving force going around the you know, the edges of things. And you might kind of go, well, how does that work? How do you put that together? Just you know, we've explored the pulse in the XP, the xiphoid process, and also in the heart, wherever it's easier for you to access, and just to feel that pulse, and then to follow the shape of things with that sense of pulse. So we're going to do that for a minute and 11 seconds here, like we usually do, and then we'll talk a little more about it. So here we go. And I'm what I'm doing right now is I'm just following my my image here as I'm looking at myself in this video. I'm just following what I see, you know, including like the outline of my hair, and then you know, just following the edge of what I see. So you know, you can follow like the straight edge, but circles are kind of interesting. You know, like when you get to your eyes, you can, with circles you can kind of like just keep going around. Benefits, I find that this actually it improves my eyesight. That when you put, you know, energy into seeing, your eyes actually, it's like, you know, say you were learning to play piano, you know, but by putting energy into your fingers start responding to, you know, your brain and to your emotions. The same way with your eyes. Um, so now I want to try this. We were just doing this with, I was doing with eyes open. Maybe some of you are doing with eyes closed. I want to try it with eyes closed also. Um, and and I want to add in respiration. I want to add in breathing with that. Um, so as you so we have three elements here. We have this visual element, we have breathing, and we have pulse. And what's going to happen is that as you know, the visual and the breathing are they have the tendency to dominate the pulse. The pulse is a more subtle thing, and so the challenge will be to keep a sense of the pulse and actually to try to do it, letting the pulse lead rather than letting the breath or the visual to lead. So we're going to do it again for a minute and 11 seconds. But this time, I want you to, let's see, I want us to try, I want everybody to kind of close your eyes and see what you can see, you know, in the inner shapes. See how you can navigate the inner landscape and follow the contour of the inner shapes. So here we go. Okay, and that may have been relaxing for some of you. Maybe for some of you, it was actually, it kind of was intense to actually do that. You know, you can actually use the pulse to help you relax because you surrender to the pulse. So I want to do one more round, and this time I want to add a same three elements: the visual, the contouring, the pulse, the respiration. But now we're going to around the edge of whatever it is we're seeing, whether it's exterior or interior. And I think I want to try this interior. What we're going to do is we're going to breathe in a spiral. We're going to breathe in counterclockwise around the edge, and we're going to breathe out. I'm sorry, we're going to breathe in clockwise around the edge and breathe out counterclockwise. So the same three elements, but now we're adding a excuse me, a certain, let's just call it a certain manipulation with one of those elements. So in a sense, the edge of something becomes like the tree, and the spiraling around with the respiration becomes like the hoop. And you've probably heard me talk about the hoop and the tree before. The hoop and the tree is a metaphysical analogy that comes up in the American Indian tradition, among other traditions in the world. And it basically signifies the balance between spirit and matter, between God and man, between God and community, you know, between the divine and the human. So once again, what we're going to do for a minute and 11 seconds is we're going to follow the shape, that we're going to follow the contour of the inner shapes that we see, and we'll feel that the pulse is kind of like just anchoring us along the line, but then we're going to breathe in clockwise and breathe out counterclockwise around the edge of the shape of what we see. So let's begin with eyes closed. Okay, so what I find is that when, there's probably an initial kind of break-in period where you're putting things together and you're kind of struggling to stay on task with this, and you might even find that your mind drifts away. But as you do this and you start to be able to relax with the focus, this can act, and when you're doing it internally with your eyes closed, you actually can move into like a hypnagogic state, where you're actually seeing, like it becomes less mechanical. It's sort of like, well, first I'll say it. It becomes less mechanical and it becomes more, it's like it opens into an internal world, a sort of like the way with music, with you practice scales on an instrument, but at some point you start actually making music. Well, and that, like I said, and it becomes almost like you enter a state, an inner state. And if you're doing it externally, what can happen is you can actually start to merge with, the exterior world, your inner world and your exterior world can start to merge. So anyway, this is the meditation for type 4, called contouring, which is derived from the Tibetan Eye Chart. And I do recommend that you get a Tibetan Eye Chart. Just download the image from if you just look up on Google Images, you'll find those downloaded. Print it out, hang it up on your wall, and start there. It's it's sort of like, before we get to the derivative, it's best to get the original, the source of this. And I would recommend to practice it every day for the rest of your life. Your eyes are a very important part of how you interact with the world, and to exercise them not only improves your eyesight, but it improves your relationship to your eyesight. You start to use your eyes in a more conscious way. So thanks for listening. Christopher McClure here from wholenessgeeks.com.